the group 1 reporting. So, Senja di Jakarta, Twilight in Jakarta. Written by Mochtar, Lubis. Settings. The settings is the location and time frame in which the action and narratives take place. So the settings of the story is, these greatest stories take place in Jakarta, Indonesia in early 1960s. Which were to foreshadow the violent political upheavals of a few short years later. Character. A character is any animate figures within a story. So these all the characters. Radin Kaslan, the director of Bumi Aju, a member of the Indonesia Party. Fatma, Radin Kaslan's wife. Next is Suryono. Radin Kaslan's son also becomes very promiscuous, having sex with high-class prostitute, married woman, and his own stepmother. Hussein Limbara, head of the Indonesia Party Solution. Halim, the director of the newspaper. Itam and Simon, the poor man. Idris, an inspector of the ministry. Next is Dalia, a prostitute as well as the wife of a minor official. Idris. Suging, economic ministry staff. Hashna, Suging's wife. Pak Ijo got an accident with a rich family. Raden Kaslan. Next is Ahmad, Pak Ijo's son. So those are all the characteristics. So the plot of a story is the sequence of events that shade a broader narrative, with every event causing and affecting each other. So the plot of the story is Raden Kaslan, a member of the Indonesia Party, is told by the party leader Hussein Limbara to raise funds for the next election. To do so, Kaslan creates a fake companies to handle licensing the import of goods with his second wife, Fatma. San Suryono and himself as director. Through this fraud, they raise much money for themselves and the party. At his father urging Suryono quit his job at the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs and soon became rich. He also became very promiscuous, having sex with high-class prostitutes, married women, and his own stepmother. Meanwhile, honest government workers like Idris are unable to compete. Idris receives little compensation, and his materialistic wife Dalia is having an affair with Suryono. The Wong Silik, including prostitute Neneng, coachman Pak Ejo, and the garbage man Simon and Itam, live in hunger, ignored by the upper class. Despite the inequality, academics and cultural observers do nothing but discuss the social woes. They never take action. Eventually, opposition newspaper uncover the corruption and fake companies used by the Indonesia Party. This causes the president to disband the cabinet and some members of the Indonesia Party to join opposition. Radin Kaslan is arrested while Suryono and Fatma get into the car accident. While trying to escape, Suryono dies of his wounds. Despite the fall of the Indonesia Party, the poor still suffer. Conflict in a story is struggle between opposing forces. Characters must act to confront those forces, and there is where conflict is born. If there is nothing to overcome, there is no story. Conflict in a story creates and drives the plots forward. So the conflict of this story is the corruption of Raden Kaslan causes the suffering of the Wong Silik, and the use of power of Fatma and Suryono for their own desires. The resolution of this story is also known as the denouement, is the conclusion of the story's plots. It's where any answered question are answered, or loose ends are tied. The phrase denouement comes from the French word denouement, meaning to untie. A story with a complete ending is said to have a strong resolution. resolution. In the end of the opposition has uncovered the corruption of Radan Kaslan. While trying to escape, Suryuna and Fatma get into a car accident and Suryuna dies. The point of view of the story determines who is telling and narrator's relationship the characters in the story. So the point of view of the story is used. The story is the third person, omniscient, which the narrator narrates the story. The theme can be defined as the underlying meaning of a story. So the theme is the main idea of the story. Is the novel is portrayal of the political, business, and chattering classes of Indonesian society in 1960s. Lesson of the story. The lesson of the story is don't abuse your power for your own good. Use it for your people. Next is, and lastly, focus of the story. The focus of the story is about a corruption, immorality, and abusing of power in the government under Sukarno's reign. So that's all. Thank you.